Hi, my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and the sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin.
We're the Harry Potter podcast that talks way more about any other franchise.
Here, we use the sorting structure from Harry Potter as a common language without supporting the author or her beliefs. As for the sorting itself, there's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
According to us.
According to us. All right, what are we doing? Oh, Bridgerton. Did they have a song?
Bridgerton, yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun. That's Game of Thrones.
No, don't stop. I was just about to do it, and then you did Game of Thrones. You know when the tree's there and it's the strings?
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's so complex. You know what I'm talking about. In the intro with the fucking tree and the bee that killed their dad.
No, I can vividly
somehow
I can vividly see the tree. I just
and
can't
it's
hear the music.
strings. And it's the strings.
I just want to do Game of Thrones.
No, it's not Game of Thrones. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
You guys, it's only been about 2 months since you saw us. Rachel and I haven't recorded anything since March. So it's been,
Oh, yeah.
how many months is that?
We
April,
were
May,
trying
June,
to
July,
like
4 months since
we were
we've
trying
done
to
this.
get them all in before I gave birth.
Yeah, we shoved them all in there before the baby happened.
She's here. She's good. She's cute. All good.
Speaking of, there's a baby.
Yeah. Coolest birthday ever. 4/4/24. Her name's Lily, and she has blue eyes inexplicably, and they're not going away. They're actually turning green right now. It's weird. That's all I have for you because she's only 3 months old now.
You're
She's a
just
potato,
sharing this.
basically.
With people. Yeah.
She's really smiley though, so that's cute.
Aww.
That's about all that's new with me, baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing's new. I don't have a baby.
No
so.
baby. No secret baby
No.
you didn't tell me about.
Do Sims count?
They do.
I've
Yeah,
got
sure. Why not?
Sims.
If people's dogs count, I don't see why, whatever. You raise them. Your Sims.
I do. Through their entire life.
Yeah. Having a baby is basically having a sim. You have to just check like what meters go up and down. Like, need food?
Right.
You need
When it's
diaper?
hungry, yeah.
What do you need?
What? Yeah. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Wow, Sims prepare you for parenthood. This is the lesson.
Except like
That we're
as in
learning
a
here.
Sims, you're the god, so you're not feeling like the fatigue. Like
Right.
my meter also goes down. So like I am also a sim, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh well. But it's been good. I was just telling Lauren before, I'm like, I haven't talked about this stuff in so long. Like, we talk all the time, so I'll, randomly be like,
Mhm.
that was such a Gryffindor thing that person did and whatever, but we haven't like analytically discussed it in a while.
I can't believe you would lie to these people. We also haven't spoken to each other in 4
Oh
months.
my god, can you imagine? Can you imagine we just came back and we just jumped right back into it?
We're fake podcast friends.
From all the success of this, we have to just like pretend to still like each other.
Success for the image.
Hey, it's 4 years in and still going. Like,
Oh my god.
we haven't.
Literally, so we can do this.
We haven't shut the hell up. Chronic yapping disease still in full effect.
Mhm.
And I know the Bridgerton hype train has kind of slowed a bit, but we're still going to cover Bridgerton. I mean, everyone waited a really long time for that season, and
Yeah, they did.
damn, finally got it. So
Damn. Did we did we sort season 2 with Meg and Carla? We did, didn't we?
yeah,
Did we?
yeah, we did.
we did.
Was it with Megan
Oh.
Carla though? It was with someone.
Yeah. It was
Haley.
Meg and Carla.
Megan Carla.
No, it was Meg and Carla. Yeah.
Just cycling through all of our friends that care about us enough to come on the podcast. Yeah, we did. That was like this season of Gryffindor brain disease. That was wild.
It was. I enjoyed
I
it.
loved that season. I think
So did I.
they are my favorite couple still.
Yeah. Although I like Simon and Daphne, Rachel has this weird thing about Simon. But
Simon makes me so mad, dude.
I know he does. I liked this season. I know it was super hype, but nothing sticks out to me.
That's weird, Lauren. What do you mean?
Why? I can watch it and it's just
Like
nothing
background?
huge. Like there's no like huge story beats. I feel or like super like other than the carriage, like super memorable.
I can't understand why it caused such distress in some people because it was just a season. Like there wasn't anything
And it was like the relationship.
It was there.
You know what? This is probably a me problem. Friends to lovers is not my thing.
No,
I find it boring.
But I like the Whistledown reveal.
Not that this was boring.
There was a lot of things going on. I will say it felt like really crowded. There was a lot going on, but I loved the first 4 episodes. So interesting
because at the same time, I'm like nothing happened.
That's so funny. I felt like
maybe it might also be because Friends to Lovers 2 is like it's just so natural that once they realize they like each other, they should just be together. That it all feels like drawn out and contrived when there's like conflict. I'm like they're friends who are now lovers.
I will say,
like, why is there all of this?
We can talk about this when we get into Colin specifically, but he started to lose me towards the end, where I was just like, enough, like stop, enough. But you'll find I'm a Penelope stan first and foremost, so that I might be biased.
Well, who isn't?
Yeah, but so out of the two of them, I'm more on her side and her team, and I understand her way more than him and his stupid man feelings.
Interesting.
So he started to lose me like severely. It's so funny when I've watched it first through, I heard him say something that he didn't actually say, and I went off about it, and he didn't actually say it.
Yeah, you did, and I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna let you do this."
I thought, like, when he gets her in the alley, I could have sworn.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. He said, "You're the one who doesn't deserve love." Yeah,
you're the one who doesn't deserve love.
Yeah, I know. You were going off about it, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
It was so bad.
He would never say that to her.
Yeah, no. But so I watched it again, and he didn't say it. So I don't know what I heard or misheard.
He doesn't. What does he say? He says he says, "I've been worrying this whole time that I didn't deserve love, but really it's you who's been hiding things,"
some shit
or something like that. Yeah.
So that contributed to like my rage towards Colin this season. But like even so, there were moments where I was like
fake rage.
I was like,
how very on brand for you. Your contrived rage.
Because it's ridiculous. It's like it's ridiculous. Your really pretty big boobed wife who's really successful and rich lied about some stuff. Oh no. When? Like, can we
that hurt his family?
Can we get some perspective? Because his family, like his mother thought it was awesome. Okay, and Anthony was so titillated by it. And I bet Daphne was like, good for her. Okay, so if Eloise is the only one with the problem.
Anthony was not titillated.
I didn't see much of Anthony's reaction.
His little, if this was going on in my house, I assure you I would have known and put a stop to it immediately. All right.
No,
Anthony.
literally, Anthony didn't care at all, for being honest. He's like, I want to get my wife on this boat and get the fuck out of here. But, so yeah, in that sense, I think he held on to it for too long. But we'll talk about it when we talk about his characterization. Just from Rachel's perspective, he really pissed me off sometimes. And Penelope didn't.
Except the thing that pissed her off the most was not something
that's true.
Happened.
So that's why I'm pulling back a little bit on my rage towards him, because it was a low-key unwarranted.
I'm glad you realized that before we recorded.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I don't know if I could have stood that again.
And I would have stood on it too.
She yelled at me in text, and I was just like, okay.
I was raging out. I mean, I stand by a lot of it. Okay, like, relax. You followed her. Weird. Are you following her? Let her do her thing.
This is why women are not supposed to go out alone to the fucking slums.
Please. What are you doing out here? Suspicious.
Okay, but then also he's out at his bachelor party and is walking home alone, and she sees him after being out alone in the slums again and is like, who are you with? Did you really think he was out there?
So we're going to do, obviously, Pollen, and I think we'll probably talk about the Featherington sisters, maybe the mama.
Probably Lady Featherington the most. I don't know if I know what the sisters...
Me neither.
Like, what is their... Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about it.
All right. Lady Featherington, I know.
Oh, yeah? You have a feeling?
Yeah. Do you not think she's easy?
I don't think you're going to think what I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's a house that anybody would like obviously put her into, and then but I may not agree with it. So we'll see.
Okay.
I say we start with Penelope though, because this is like her world and we're all just living in it.
Right. Lady Whistledown herself.
Lady Whistledown. Do you think the Julie Andrews voice is a different house?
No, I don't. No.
It's so funny because I'm able to separate the two. Like, I separate the two of them all the time when she's talking. I'm like, yeah.
No, if I listen to her writing, it's the same house.
That's so funny. I never thought. I haven't really thought about it. No, a question occurred to me just now. was like, I wonder if Julie Andrews Whistledown is different than Penelope Whistledown. Obviously not, though. They're the same person. Which Colin makes a whole big deal later. He's like, I tried to separate the two of you, but you're not. Yeah, Colin. They're the same person. I'm sorry, Colin Stans. I'm probably going to be a little hard on him. But so Penelope, I didn't read these books, so the reveal of Lady Whistledown to me was like organic, and I avoided spoilers, and it was awesome. Loved that.
They reveal it really fast.
Yeah, season 1. At the end of season 1. So,
you don't know in the books until
really?
Penelope's book.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I don't know if it's more apparent in the book that she's Whistledown or not. Like, no?
Mm-mm. No, I don't think so.
When I first watched it through, she was in like my top 5 of who it could be, but she was like 5. You know, like I was like
at the bottom of the top.
Because I considered like she's a wallflower and she pays attention, she just watches, but I didn't know if she had the stones, you know? And that's like by design. They make you think she's like this sweet little nothing. Like, oh, she wants to play with Eloise and still be a little girl. And but still, just because of that, I was like, that would be cool if they did that. But I was like, it's Lady Danbury. It's like, it's a Bridgerton. It's, you know, like what everyone else would have thought if they didn't know who it was. But when it was revealed, I was like, that's psychotic. I was like, that's fucking crazy. That's insane. And the first thing I said to Lauren, and I don't know if Lauren remembers this, was like, what in the fucking, what's his name? Penn Badgley.
Who are you talking about?
From
Dan?
Yeah. What was like, what in the Dan?
Dan
I was
Humphrey.
like, what in the Dan Humphreys? Is this like that level of cuckoo? So yeah, I've never wavered. Like, I'll just say, I immediately put her in Hufflepuff. I was like, that's some Hufflepuff shit. Like crazy level Hufflepuff shit. And she just gets more and more Hufflepuff the more you actually get to genuinely know her, and not just the version of her they show you in season 1. Which, not to be fair, you see a lot of her character, like who she is and what she stands for in season 1. Just it obviously grows way more in season 2. When's Marina? 2?
No, she's season 1.
Okay, so you see a lot of it with Marina, and then you see a lot of it with her relationship with Eloise. So she's very Hufflepuff to me. I never put her anywhere else is what I'm trying to say. Like, I can't see her in another place.
Right. No, I never did either.
No.
I mean, she both stereotypically fills the fluffy Hufflepuff, but is also, like you said, like the unhinged one as well.
Yeah, it's like get you a Hufflepuff who can do both.
She does split herself a little. She's like Lady Whistledown's the unhinged version.
Yeah, no, you're right. You see it in the new season when she sort of comes into her own. When she like really starts to take control of things, you see like the other side of the Hufflepuff come out, where she's like, I could do all of this. I could do all of this without you. I really don't want to. But I can't imagine the Pen of season 1 having that much confidence and that level of growth.
I mean, so Lady Whistledown is like to get confidence for herself mostly, right? I mean, you think about season 1 where she's like, Mama, may I go play with Eloise? And her mom's like, we do not play, Penelope. Yeah. But I mean, also, she didn't want to go out into society at the same time as her sisters. All 3 of them went out at once to like kind of, I guess, throw something at the wall and hope it stuck. But she didn't want to go out. She felt it was too early to go out. Eloise wasn't going out yet, and she told her mom she didn't want to go out. Her mom was like, I don't care. And I feel like most other people would just be like, I just simply will not be going.
Yeah.
Like, you will really have to do something about it. Penelope was just like, all right, I guess if people really want me to. But then so she like basically rolled over, but then made the most of it, right? She's like sitting in the corner listening to these people gossip and then like airing all their dirty laundry the next day and making thousands of dollars off of them. So
she makes so much money.
She does. Do you because I was just rewatching, because like I said, it wasn't super memorable to me, but just rewatched the part again where Eloise was like, she's been using me this whole time to get to Colin. I like literally burst.
I don't even remember that. Oh my God. I think I have Bridgerton amnesia
she does say that. And I was like, Eloise obviously thinks that's because that's something that she would potentially do or think to do if she even cared about men at all. But
Penelope, I never got that vibe. Not once.
Never. She was totally happy to be friends with Colin forever. If Colin was going to marry somebody else that was good, like not Marina tricking him into marriage and having a baby, that was an
injustice.
That was an injustice, and it was an injustice because Colin didn't know. If Colin had chosen that, then fine. But yeah, if he had she would have She didn't expect to ever marry him. She has a very poor opinion of her self-worth and image. Yeah. So she totally would have been fine with it and with being his friend forever.
She's very as funny as it is to say about someone who's like a gossip writer and as someone who like moves pieces around the board through the gossip magazine and through her role, she really does respect other people's decisions. Like if that's what you want, she's like, fine, do that. Because even like when it came to the annulment, like this potential annulment, she really meant it. She was like, if you don't want to be with me, it's fine. Like that's your choice. I'm totally okay with that. Or even like there was zero manipulation when she asked him to kiss her. She straight up was just like, I'm gonna die alone.
I'm never gonna be kissed.
I would like to have this experience.
And you're my friend, and I feel safe with you.
She was also really happy to just play the supporting role of a friend while he was on his travels all over the place. She was never trying to get him to like her or to see her as anything more. Like she's not manipulative that way.
No. At all. She was just being a friend. She was being a friend, and she was like very obviously lovesick at times, and that's totally on Colin to have not and Eloise. I can't believe Eloise didn't see that. Her whole thing with like, she's been using me. I can't believe you didn't tell me this was happening. Like, Eloise, girl, that's on you for not seeing her like mooning over your brother.
But how do you not?
That was so obvious. It was so obvious, and it's really it makes me a little sad for their friendship because Rachel and I can't remember if we've had this conversation like publicly. We probably haven't because we can't talk about Eloise yet. But we were talking a bit, and I can do this without talking about Eloise so much. But we were doing it like, why is Eloise so upset about this other than the fact that she's like mad at Penelope right now? And I was explaining to Rachel, which I've seen, this isn't like revolutionary. A lot of other people I've seen have said this too. But that like Eloise was upset about losing her person who was going to be living the same lifestyle as her. So she would not be living this life of not having a husband, and she wouldn't be a spinster alone. And then Rachel was like, well, do you mean like Eloise loved Penelope? And I was like, no, not romantically. It was literally just, or at least not
like platonic.
That's
life
not
partner.
what I feel. Yeah, like a platonic life partner. Like Eloise is trying.
I didn't know that.
No, I know they do, and I could totally subscribe to the Eloise being a lesbian thing too. But I
don't think she was ever in love with Penelope.
No, I don't think so. Eloise is, that's the other thing too. Both Cressida and Penelope clocked Eloise for always like talking and never doing. This is all that Eloise was doing, is saying that she was going to live this way, and doing that is a lot actually. Like choosing to be a spinster and to have society look at you in that way, and to like not have. Eloise is lucky because she has brothers who love her a lot and who don't try to control her, so she would be in a better position.
She's also like
where Anthony.
She's so privileged in every way.
No, that's what I'm saying. She's privileged in her family because a lot of families would not allow a woman to choose to be a spinster. Right. Like the men in the family would not continue to take care of her into her old age. Yeah, Anthony will. If that's what she chooses to do, Anthony will take care of her for the rest of his life and set her up in his will or whatever. But but that's a big thing to choose to do. And I think it was extremely scary for Eloise to realize that this plan that she had where Penelope was going to be doing it with her is suddenly not a thing, and she has to do it alone, and she doesn't want to do it alone.
But you know what? So, what's weird to me is that she comes to that conclusion like she talks about the bitterness of it, just sort of understanding it and being like, now, because I do think she gets there, right, where it's like, now I have to do this by myself, and I thought it was always going to be the two of us. But it's like season 1 or 2 where she's talking to Penelope, like they're in the field, I think, and she's like, you like this stuff, don't you? And Penelope's like, yeah, I kind of do.
Oh, the gossip?
Yeah. Like, you like it. And
I mean, Eloise liked it too. I guess in a different way.
That she never got a sense. She just like, hot take. I don't think she's a good friend. I just don't think she's a good friend to Penelope.
No, I agree with that. She wasn't a good friend to Cressida either. No, I'm going to be real straight, even though I don't know if Cressida deserved it. But I don't think Eloise really knows how to be a friend. I'm going to be straight up about that. But we're not talking about Eloise.
Penelope is a good friend, though. A genuinely good friend.
Penelope is an extremely good friend.
To have on your
side. And I'm actually thinking more too. So So in season 1, Penelope's storyline.
Well, it's mainly the Marina
was
thing.
Season 1. Yeah, it's the Marina thing, but it's also that Eloise is going after Lady Whistledown, and Penelope is humoring her for the sake of appearances, and then finally at the end snaps and does the "not all of us can be pretty Bridgertons," you know. I don't know. I don't know what I have to say to convince you all of that is Hufflepuff.
Of season 1, I mean, for the Whistledown thing, I don't know. It's just, I think it's a person who, or like a Hufflepuff who is like, oh, that's cute. You're never really going to get very far with that. But then when she sees that Eloise isn't letting it go, you can see that she's so annoyed by it. Like, she's worried, obviously, when it starts to seem like...
I was going to say, I don't even think she was that worried. I don't even know if she would have minded so much at that point. Like, I'm trying to think about the logic behind her not sharing it with Eloise right away. I feel like maybe she would have if Eloise wasn't so
judgy.
The way that she was about it. Not just judgy, but like she was worshiping Whistledown that first season, remember? And I feel like Penelope was just like, I just don't want to deal with you knowing that it's me or whatever. So I don't even think it was worry when she snapped. I think she was really like, how the fuck is this like your main concern in life when I am gonna die alone?
Right.
Like, and that's what I'm worried about.
Penelope, like, she doesn't want that out, even to her. I think it's like, it's hers. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's almost kind of Slytherin. I see a Slytherin Hufflepuff overlap where, like, I think those two houses are the best at keeping secrets in general. And so, and I think also the best at being private about things. So this was hers. It's like, this is her baby. This is her identity. This is everything rolled up into one. It's just hers. And I don't think she wanted anything tainting it. So she wasn't strong enough at first in the first season to like stand up for herself in certain ways. So I think she was worried because she knew herself well enough to know that Eloise would have like put her hands in it and been like, well, you should have talked about this. You should do that. Or like to influence her in some way. And I think she already knew that. And she was I don't want that.
It was her way of having any sort of power. Right. And not power for like power's sake, just to be like seen by other people. Right. But no, you can talk about her relationship. Never with Marina did I ever feel she was being like behind her back or manipulative or whatever. Like, I know she technically very literally went behind Marina's back by exposing her secrets as Whistledown, but she was as open as she could be about it. She told Marina that she had to tell Colin. She told Marina that it was going to get out if she didn't tell Colin. She tried to tell Colin and Marina stopped her, like went after her in the hallway and was there so that Penelope couldn't privately speak to Colin. Right. But at the same time, when Marina drank that tea and made herself ill, Penelope was the one who found her. Penelope was genuinely trying to reconnect her with George.
Yeah, she was.
Like, it wasn't like, yes, it had the added bonus of like getting her away from Colin, but she also genuinely was like, you seem to love him and this guy loves you and you're having his baby. Like, I really want him to come back.
I think she genuinely liked Marina and wanted a relationship with her.
Oh, yeah. No, I believe it. Yeah.
I don't find her to be, this is what I was saying before, I don't find her to be a manipulative person beyond the Whistledown thing, which I don't even think manipulative is the correct word for Whistledown.
I don't think Whistledown is manipulative because Whistledown isn't saying these things in a way or to get people to do certain things. She's literally just releasing information. Like, one of the things that the paper that she just released to counter Cressida, to be like, to prove that she actually has the gossip or whatever. The last piece of gossip she gave was about a husband who treats his wife poorly behind closed doors. And it's like, she's not trying to like start him, like there's nothing happening there other than to expose this guy for being an asshole. And that's all you see too, that you see them walking down the street and the woman's like smiling, holding Whistledown. She's just, something will change for her if that woman does something, but like the lady Whistledown is not.
No, it's just gossip. It's things that people are saying either way, right? It's just magnified. And then she has this whole thing going on with the queen, which is really funny.
And she has so I don't know if you caught this in the first season, but gossip rags in this time period did not name people. They used initials. So it was all still very dignified because you weren't like outright saying it's this person. There was a level, even though everybody knew who it was, there was a level of anonymity because you could be like, well, CK could be, Chris Klein, or it could be Charles Knockburger or what the fuck ever. But everybody knew who it was. So they actually say in the first season, this is the first gossip rag to name everybody out by their full name. And that's part of what she's doing as well. She's being like, no, you're going to know exactly who said what. And I'm not going to be like, you know, all high society about it. It's going to be down and dirty that this person said this.
Yeah. And the queen liked that, whether she immediately admitted it or not. And we're not going to say the queen's house because we will talk about Queen Charlotte later. But it's really Hufflepuff the way that Penelope's just kind of poking at her. She's not like in an all-out war, or like she really doesn't want the smoke in a real way. She's just like, oh, she's not gonna like this, or she's gonna love that. Like, she knows. She's playing a little game with her, and she's not taking it as seriously as she probably should, because the woman could behead you.
No. Well, you see what happens when the queen thinks it's Eloise, and Eloise tells Penelope, and then I'm frankly on Penelope's side for that. Like, Eloise was getting herself into trouble there. I mean, Penelope was too, as Lady Whistledown. There
were like two outcomes for that.
Eloise was not being subtle not being subtle about it. And I guess you could argue that Penelope should have told her at that point. But at that point, Eloise fucking hated Lady Whistledown. So frankly, I wouldn't have told my friend either. Like,
hot take again. I don't think Eloise had any right to know. I just don't. I don't think it was her business. I don't think it was her place to know. And I would probably feel differently if she was a better friend. Like, if you were actually what I would expect someone's best
I also probably would feel differently if Eloise had outright asked Penelope if she was Lady Whistledown, but she never even gave her that respect.
No. You know?
Like, she never even thought. No. Yeah.
So I don't think she deserved to know.
Well, I mean, I guess she could have been a good friend at that point and thought maybe if she was Lady Whistledown, then she would have told her. So if she's not telling her she's not Lady Whistledown. Yeah,
and I can understand anyone, not just Eloise, being like, how could you not tell me? But you have to look at it within the context of what it is. You didn't take her seriously as a person. You didn't know anything about her actual aspirations, wants, dreams, who she had a crush on, what she wanted, if she wanted to get married. You didn't really know this person. Like, it's a childhood friendship that you didn't like try hard enough in, I think. So they're bonded, like they're inexplicably bonded, the way that you are with like a childhood friend throughout your teens and throughout these formative years. But if you don't keep working at a relationship like that, and if you don't put any depth into it, it doesn't last and doesn't go anywhere. That's why so many childhood friendships just die where they are. They're left where they are. And I think they could have been, or would have been, if not for Penelope trying so hard, because Penelope's the one who tries hard in that relationship. And that also speaks to her house. Like, she has a loyalty to Eloise. She has a loyalty to the Bridgerton family to the fucking end. And she never wavers in that.
So I think partly is it's Colin too, and she's Colin's sister.
Yeah.
Like, I think Penelope probably would have settled if Eloise refused to be like besties again. She probably would have settled for like a cordial relationship. She would have,
because like I was saying before, that was another example I wanted to say. Like, she just respects her.
She talks about too, like, and also she talks about the Bridgerton house being her safe place, and then when Eloise was mad at her, it wasn't anymore. Yeah. She's like, I can't be here with Colin. She's like, and he was like, but you said you loved our house, and she's like, yeah, before Eloise and I were fighting. Now, I don't want to be here. That was so stupid,
Colin. That was so stupid. Oh my god.
Men don't get it. They don't get it.
God. Until she even gives him that speech. He's like,
but this is my house, and we're friends.
He doesn't think of anything. She has to tell him everything. Like, Colin, no, this is because I'm a woman. This is because I'm in a fight with Eloise.
He said, but we're friends, and it's my house too.
God. Oh my god, Colin, please. Yeah, no, so she's not a manipulative kind of Hufflepuff. She's very loyal, very justice driven, because Whistledown is her way of like bringing down the hammer of justice. It is like, it's through gossip, and it's not in a way where she's trying to get anybody like fucking killed.
You see her use it a little bit when Colin pisses her off. After he said something mean about her that she wasn't supposed to hear, but he said something mean about her when he was not thinking. And he came back being all flirty with the girls, and she said, "You're full of shit, Colin Bridgerton," and like LED lights flashing.
Nothing even bad.
Top of Buckingham Palace.
So. She's just like, this guy like doesn't even know who he is. Lame.
She said, "This man's a fucking fake. Do not trust him. He's a fugly slut."
Well, Regina George is also a Hufflepuff.
Colin was like my mortal enemy.
You see these Hufflepuffs out here? What they be doing? Yeah, no, and I think that like her opinion is very hard to change on a person. Like, I don't ever see her. She could easily, if she wanted to, she could easily see Cressida for like a very sad, pitiful creature. But she doesn't. She like doesn't care. To the end, she's just like, Cressida Cowper is a fucking loser.
That whole relationship weirds me out. I don't understand it. She's like, one is a lying piece of shit and one's the devil, and I only know one of them. Yeah, you can see it in her relationship with her family and her mom. Her sisters are not nice to her, and she just literally doesn't do a single goddamn thing about it. She's like,
I hate that.
All right, keep saying things to me. She just
drives me
continues with her life. Her mom, like I said, is very headstrong, got her to go out when she did not want to go out into society. And also is moving the family around in ways that Penelope doesn't notice. She didn't even realize that the jewel thing was fake, which I could not. Penelope's obviously not a Slytherin.
No.
She did not clock that jewel thing.
No.
Yeah, but her relationship with her mom is clearly, she clearly feels that her mom is a bully, basically. And it's not until that conversation in season 3 where Lady Featherington sits her down and has that whole conversation about like, your job right now is to make your husband the happiest person in the world and to do whatever he wants. And Penelope's like, well, what about what I want? And her mom's like, I'm so sorry that that's not the way that this world works. And if you try hard enough, you might get what you want through him. And I think Penelope like really understands what her mom has been doing. Like it clicks for her at that point, what her mom has been doing and what she's had to live through when she was like, your dad was a dick to me, but I got you guys out of it, and I really love you. And Penelope's like, oh shit, for real? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, the lack of communication there between the two, the lack of understanding. I mean, like, you know, it was pretty indicative of a lot of mother and daughter relationships.
And it's, I mean, so when she says, when Lord Devlin proposes, and then Lady Featherington realizes before Penelope does that she's going to say no because she wants a love story. And Lady she's like, you can't, you have to have security, whatever. And, you know, when she's yelling at Penelope at that time that Colin walks in, Rachel and I both agree on this. I don't know how people feel about her now, but I actually really like Lady Featherington.
She's
and it started to happen in season 2. And season 3 really switched over for me. When she was yelling at Penelope and Colin came in and did what he did, Colin should have done that. Good for him. But also later when Lady Featherington was like, I didn't know that would hurt Penelope. I was trying to tell her what would happen if everything was worst case scenario. Like I was protecting her. I was like, bitch, you're right. Like you got it. Like all of these people are getting very lucky in their relationships. And then like what happens, right? This is not the norm for what society is.
I very rarely disagree with Lady Featherington.
And Lady Featherington knows that. Like, you know, so.
This show does like
the
older
Bridgertons
women
have
so
some sort
well.
of crack in their bloodstream that makes it work out for all of them. Like this is not how women actually get treated.
And she's like, and that's really nice. And like, I'm happy that you have those. And Lady Featherington, she's so dramatic and fucking funny. But she's like, at the end of it, she's like, dude, you can't, like, you have a good match here. Go with that match.
And then when Colin proposes, she's like, you're shooting above your, and it's not because she doesn't think Penelope is pretty. It's because she knows what their standing as a family is and what the Bridgerton's
she's just being realistic.
Family standing is. Yeah.
She doesn't do it the nicest or the softest, gentlest way. But she really is doing it because she thinks it's the right thing to do for her kid. She loves her kids.
Obviously extremely skeptical of love matches because when has she ever seen that happen?
Like the Bridgertons are really weird.
They got some sort of crack in their bloodstream.
But Penelope being mature enough, like coming into this maturity where she understands her mother too, like super, super Hufflepuff, right? Because like you might have had with a Gryffindor or an aggrieved Ravenclaw, like it would have taken more time for them to come around and soften to a parent that they feel has wronged them. She immediately is like, yeah, I get it now. Okay. That makes sense to me. And I'm going to like throw my sisters this ball and say it was you. Like she starts this real genuine relationship with her mom once she understands her. Strikes me as very Hufflepuff.
Her mom starts trying harder too. I'll give that to her,
Who?
right? Like her mom, like she actually starts chaperoning.
She does. She starts trying. She does.
Instead of being like,
She's like, well, I guess I've been wrong about the world, huh? Okay, fine. Like,
or about you. You're a special snowflake.
You can see it on Lady Featherington's face. Like, Portia. You see it on Portia's face all the time where she's just like, I don't think this is going to work. Huh. It worked. Okay. We'll roll with it. Like she's very, she's just a realistic person. She's not always right. She's not. She does a lot of things that are like proven to be like, your opinion's wrong, actually. Like the way you went about that was wrong, actually. But her heart really is in the right place. So, you know, I've always respected that. But Penelope, you can't respect that when you're in that house under that rule and like you're one of three and you're overlooked. And then society overlooks you too. Like she had a lot against her. And like brilliant play to do the whole whistle down thing. And she's obviously an extremely talented writer. And she like plays to what she's good at. You know, she's not out here like, what am I going to do with my life? I need to. She's not like on the Marriage Mart playing the game. She really is like in her own world, in her own head. And she's like, and it's not like Eloise where she's like, I'm going to out loud set myself apart and you're going to know that I'm a spinster and I'm different and like whatever. She's just like,
no, she's like, she's like, I really want somebody, but I don't know how to do it. So I'm just hoping somebody will come to my corner. I do not want to be in this corner forever.
Like, he does come to a corner. Like, what's his name?
Yeah, he does. Devlin. Oh, well, I mean, that's after she starts actively trying with Colin, right? I thought you were going to say Colin comes to her corner, which he does.
Yeah, but not romantically yet. Like, not romantically till, you know.
No. Well, and I mean, how much did he just not fucking notice?
Should we talk about him?
You know, like...
Because there's a reason he doesn't fucking notice anything.
Should we?
Oh my God.
Should we talk about Colin? I was going to say, wow, we haven't really talked about Penelope and Colin's relationship. And then I was like, that's because it's going to all be from Colin's side.
Yeah, because Penelope's very rational and normal about it. And Colin is not. So Colin Bridgerton. It's really, really I'm just going to say, like, from the bat. It's really understandable.
So wait. So in Bridgerton family so far, we have a Slytherin and a Gryffindor.
Yes, Daphne and Simon.
Those are the two siblings. Yeah. No, Daphne and Anthony.
Oh, I thought you were doing the pairings first. Sorry.
No, so far we have in the Bridgerton family.
Yeah. So, technically, this is the Bridgerton's supposed to be the main character of the season, right? Not this one.
Yes.
But
and it should have been Benedict.
Benedict should have been season 2. It should have gone alphabetically, but whatever.
Who would have given us maybe a new house, but we did not get a new house in the Bridgerton family.
Yeah, okay. So, like, listen, I think it's very understandable to watch, especially the first 2 seasons, and to feel like Colin might be a Hufflepuff. I've heard that take. We've had that take said to us. Hi, Anna. And I get it. When I didn't look at him too closely for all these years, I could have rocked with that.
All these
all
years.
Right. Yeah, I never looked at Colin
2
closely.
seasons that took 6 years.
I never looked at him.
I'm just laughed at how you said all these years about a 2-season show.
It's been a while. It's been like 2021 to now. That's many years.
You're full of shit.
But
it's been more than 2020.
I don't know. 2020, I think. Yeah. You proved my point. Thank you. So I haven't given him much thought, but had someone said, like, look at him, you think he could be a Hufflepuff? I definitely, before I really looked at him, I could have been like, yeah, I could, sure. I could make that work if I had to. But the thing is I don't have to make it work. Okay. I don't need to like write the paper and convince anybody, like, cause he's not a Hufflepuff.
Also, he told us all he wasn't. He was very loud about it.
I'm going to just continue that the trend of the leading men on this show are Gryffindors, and he falls right into that. You got to understand, it's not him like, what do we say is the Hufflepuff thing? Like he's looking for a role or a community. He's not ever doing that. Colin doesn't give a flying fuck about
continuously leaves his family.
About his
like, when he's like, I don't know what to do. He's like, better leave these bitches.
That's not to say that he's not thoughtful. He comes back with gifts for them. He writes to them, but he's kind of like the forgotten child, okay, which is very Gryffindor. I'll just say he goes on those travels.
Third son
it's very
too,
middle
like,
child syndrome, right? He goes and they don't take him seriously. Like Eloise scoffs at his gift when he comes back. Like they're always making fun of him.
I don't read that anymore. Nobody answered his letters. So sad, and also he like did not care.
What?
I mean, he said it. What he didn't. I would come back and be like, y'all for real are not answering my letters. You're my family. He just does it as an aside to Penelope. Yeah. He's just like, oh, thanks for answering me. You're the only one who did. It was nice. It's like the extent of it.
So I understand the argument that people could say he's playing a role that he wants to fit into within society, right? Like, that's what he's doing all season 3, allegedly. He's trying to fit a role into this, like, hot, sexy man who can lead a family, who can find, or not even take a wife if he's not ready for it yet. Like, even Penelope points out, he's playing a role. It's not what you think, though. It's not from a Hufflepuff place. If you take Colin of season 1 and you look at the Marina situation, and then you look at Colin of season 2 and you look what happens with Uncle Jack and the Featherington ladies. And then you look at season 3 and his relationship with Penelope, even after he finds out it's Whistledown. All of this is someone desperate for responsibility, not desperate for a community, not desperate for whatever Hufflepuffs are desperate for, justice, a role within something. It's not that. He wants the responsibility of being
to be seen as useful,
of a family, in a relationship. He wants it so bad. Like, Anthony has so much of it that he doesn't want it. He's like, fucking take some from me, someone.
Don't wait for him. He's like, Benedict, run the house. I'm going to
I beg of you, please. And Colin's like, please, someone give me something. Random Marina girl. Yes, I will take on this.
You have a baby? You didn't tell me about the baby. I'm sorry. I would have done it.
I'm so sorry. I really want you to imagine. I really want you guys to imagine a Hufflepuff finding out what Marina was up to. And if he would have stuck with that.
Blowing up on her. No. I'm telling you, right. This man would have married her, and he would have had a little baby. 5 months later, would have been like, well, it's mine.
He wanted a way,
swear on God,
into filling the position of daddy and husband. He wanted it, and he was going to take it. And low-key, he respected Marina's hustle. He really did.
There's something to be said about, like, society. You can almost say a little about society, for Colin, for men. There's not a lot of it because men are ruling the fucking world here, more so even than they do now. But there's something to be said for Colin being like, how do I get responsibility, and seeing like father husband as like the most prominent way, which I guess is probably something modeled by his parents as well. But he could have done literally anything to have responsibility. He could have gone and bought his own house and run the staff.
Yeah, but he's just the kind of Gryffindor that's like I'm sad about it that no people aren't paying attention to me, and that this isn't like just happening for me. Like I need to. I'll never forget the episode of 911 we did when who's the Gryffindor on that show? Is it Buddy or Buddy? What the fuck are they?
Buck. What, Buck or Eddie? It's a Buck.
Bucky.
Wait, Buck. Eddie is too, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's a Gryffindor, and
wait, they both are. Which one are you talking
Buck's
about?
Buck's a Gryffindor.
Buck?
So I'm trying.
Yeah. Isn't Eddie
No,
too?
he's a Slytherin.
Oh, I can't remember.
I remember you said something. It was so funny. You were like, Buck does the most Gryffindor thing. He like goes off to another country to try to fucking find himself, and like the first thing that he finds that he like kind of likes.
Yes, he watches that fucking TV. It's like Firebeaters on TV.
Okay,
he's like, I'm gonna do that.
That's the kind of Gryffindor Colin is too, though, where he's like, I'm gonna travel to Greece, and then I'm gonna come back and only talk about Greece, and Greece is my whole personality. And everyone's like, Colin, shut up. Shut up about Greece. Like, no one wants to hear it. And it's so mean, and it's so sad. Like, he's trying so hard, and then he goes and visits Marina, and she's like, get the fuck off my property.
It also,
like, you have a girl who likes you. It's not me. Ew.
She's like, why are you chasing this? And he's like, because I almost had it, and I said no to it because I was hung up on the fact that this was a bastard child.
Yep.
Not that it was a bastard child, that you didn't tell me that there was a child involved.
So this is the other thing. He has a big problem with being lied to. Huge. Doesn't like it. Because, like I've said this about Gryffindors before, many of us don't see the point in lying. Just fucking say it. Like, we'll find a way around it. Like, I'll figure it out with you. Or maybe I'll have an outburst first, but I'll come back around. And he's very like that because we've seen him do it in all of season 3. He needed to have his tantrum. He came back around.
So the other thing about Colin, too, that affects him is, you know, Anthony and Benedict, like, do not see him as, like, he was 20 in the first season. I think we talked about this. Like, they don't see him as a grown-up. They're like, you haven't even had sex yet.
Yeah.
Like, what do you know about girls? And this poor man's like, I would like to get married. I would like to spend my own money. Anthony's like, why does the logbook say you took out $20,000 for a gem mine? And Colin's like, can I not spend money? Like, what do you mean?
I'll let you know it was $20,000 because I'm responsible for the Featherington family now. So they're my responsibility.
That's him too. The way he walks in. He does it for Marina. When Marina gets challenged, he does it for the Featheringtons when you think they're being scammed or whatever. He's like, I must be the hero because I'm the man in the room.
Please see me as the man in the room. Please. I so badly want to be the man in the room. He really needed a woman who didn't need a man.
You can't tell you.
He needed it to fix him.
He did. You can't tell me him walking in on Lady Featherington telling Penelope that she is not going to marry Bridget and him being like, excuse me, you think I have something to say about this?
He was so excited to my wife her.
He was so excited. And for it to be like an actual real reason too, right? He's like, no, I heard shit.
Yeah. I heard you were talking shit. He's so dramatic about it.
Later, Penelope hits him with the, I don't need you to help me. And he's like, well, what am I supposed to do with my life then? Like, what is it?
Okay, this is the other thing where people could be like, well, that's him wanting to be useful. He literally says them, what use am I to you? It's not that.
No. It's not. He's like, this is my responsibility. This is what I do.
You are my responsibility.
I mean, Kate was doing it, right? She was telling Anthony, like, you can't be part of my life. You can't stop me from going to India. You can't do this stuff for me. And Anthony was literally, he was going to die. Physically, he was going to die.
Right, and that's not because he's not useful to her. It's because this type of man, this Gryffindor man, desperately needs their partner so bad to the point that it's pathetic. It's not like, how can I be of use to you? It's like, no. I need you. I really need you.
You are like everything to me. You need to validate the fact that I exist. This man has a house with 12 bedrooms and he's sleeping on the couch outside.
Yep. Ridiculous little bitch baby. He had that scene where she comes out in her robe and then she's like getting ready to leave and she's like, I'm going to do something with my mother. And it's like it's the morning he wakes up and looks through her letters. So it's kind of later in the season. And he sits up on the couch and he's like, where are you going? And she's like, I'm leaving. Okay, bye. And he lets her go, but you can like see it on his face. It's so it reminded me
like,
of
looking over
Dean
the letters,
with Cass, where he's like, where the fuck you think you're going? I know I told you I don't want you and I don't like want this or whatever, but like you believed me, you like listen to me, what the fuck? So stupid. Oh my god.
He's really, before they get married, Penelope's like, we could just not get married. And he's like, no, let's get married and then we'll figure out what our relationship is.
Oh my god.
It's like he already knew he was cooked. Like, I don't.
It's so many things that a Hufflepuff would not do and would not like accept and would not behave like. I just think like I can see where someone would get there. But especially after this season, when you really examine his motivations, like even his really cringy behavior of coming back and playing this big bravado bullshit role.
He was doing it because he was like, nothing else worked. So like, how am I supposed to
copying his brothers?
He's copying. Yeah, he's also copying his brothers who have been telling him that he's not grown up and they don't see him as an equal and blah, 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 blah. He wants to be husband Bridgerton
and
boy. Like you can also,
of which there are quite a couple this season, are really bitchily Gryffindor. He does it to the guys at the bar where they're like, sorry, when it's not gentleman behavior. He's like, oh yeah, I concur with you there. Yeah, you're not. You're fucking dicks. Like it like bursts out of him.
I'm tired of hearing you talking about this.
Or his mom's like,
I don't mean any of it when I talk about
Colin, what's wrong? And he's like, I'm bottle weary. God, get off me.
I'm just drunk. I'm not sad. Let me be.
And because this is the other thing. He's so fucking easy to read, okay? Hufflepuffs are not this easy to fucking read. This man, after he figured it out, every time he looked at Penelope, it's like a kicked puppy dog. Everyone could see it, especially Violet.
It's that fucking TikTok when she shows up in a room and then he's suddenly at her heels.
Walking like a dog.
Walk me like a dog.
Yeah. No, and he can't keep it off his face. And neither could Anthony.
What is it? It's in the second half when right after he proposes to her, and both I think it's Benedict who's like, they're like questioning him about like what happened. And Anthony's like, no, and Colin's like, no, yeah, it didn't come out of nowhere. I've loved her all along. I just like realized it. And I think it's Benedict who's like, does Penelope know that you like actually love her? And he's like, oh shit, and then just goes and tells her.
I should let her know. You're right.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're right.
Even
wild.
It's all so what's the word? It's so impulsive. Okay. And if just I just want you to think Penelope.
No, because for him, the second his hand was up her skirt, he was like, well,
but
we're
like
getting
it's
married
even before
now.
that. Like Penelope is so calculated in every move that she makes. She's not, even with Debbling, you'd think that was like a duh choice for her, right? Even then, she's taking her time and calculating it and figuring out her next move. And do I really want this? This Gryffindor asshole looks at her one day and is like, oh shit, I love her. She's hot.
Well,
and from then on,
she asks him to kiss her, and then he has a wet dream, and then he's like, "So obviously that's my wife. Like God told me."
He's so stupid. I'm so sorry to besmirch mine own house. But the men are so like. It's like the Charlie Gong moment that I talk about sometimes, where that's all that it was for him, like the kiss, and then he was like, no shit, that's it for me forever.
He woke up from the dream. Yeah, he was like, well,
and that's it. So everything from that moment is super impulsive. Everything after that, he follows her out onto the, he's like, so yeah, why shouldn't we do lessons, huh? Oh yeah, it's a bad idea. Oh, I agree, but why? Okay. I'm gonna just stare at you from across the field and across the ballroom and across every room ever forever. Like, and then he's like not doing anything about it, right? He's just like letting her go and just yearning until Violet's like, she's gonna get married.
She reads his journal too, right? And he's like upset about that, as he should be. He's like, my private thoughts. Yeah, for a minute. And then she's like, you're a really good writer. And he's like, oh, wait, you think so? Like, you really think so?
Tell me more about me.
It's like, maybe I'll write a book. I'll write a book.
Maybe I can do this.
Maybe I'll write a book one day.
Yeah, and he's first of all, I'm not like with the super intense reads of Colin where they make him out to be like this really like little bitch of a man who's really jealous of Penelope. I do think he has some envy. I think it's really fucking clear there's some envy there, right? But it's not anything that like it doesn't disrupt his opinion of her. It doesn't change his love for her. It's really internalized, and it's really like a petty little like, damn, like well, maybe I'm just not as good as it. Like shit.
Yeah, I think it's like
it's a little insecurity.
I mean, he hadn't tried yet, right? I think it's not that he doesn't think, or he might think he's not good enough. It's not that he's been proven to not be good enough yet. It's that I think it's like envy about like, wow, you did that shit, and I'm not doing that shit.
And I think there's not enough reads on that. Yeah. They immediately people jump to like he's envious and jealous, and it's like a red flag. Like no, he's intimidated by her. Which I don't think is a red flag, like unless you try to manipulate her in some way.
He's like, so simply stop being Whistledown. And she's like, I'm not going to do that because I'm really good at it. And he's like, damn, to be that sure of yourself. Like, imagine that.
Like, and you can see it at the end with his whole speech where he's like, I get to be with you. Like, that's a fucking privilege.
Yeah.
But that's a Gryffindor man. Like through and through. Yeah. He's just he's not one of the like super angry, he's not like Anthony and Simon.
One of the most significant, he barely had any interaction with Anthony, but like the most significant one was like the most fucking Gryffindor when Kate and Anthony are talking to him about his wedding like the night before, and he's drinking. Yeah. And then Kate leaves and Anthony's like, I drank before my wedding night, and it's because I was happy. So good luck to you. Like it's the one on the other side of the wall, right? He's like, I went through this shit already. Like you'll figure it out.
I loved that Kate's Gryffindor ass was like, okay, so Penelope has a secret. Who amongst us hasn't had secrets and hasn't bullshitted people before? Like, a big deal. Who cares? I kind of respect the grind. Like, just marry her and stop being a little bitch about it. And Anthony's like, why are we talking about this? My marriage is perfect. Like, really happy.
And she's like, you're wearisome tonight. She's like, you're so full of shit and I'm tired of you. I'm going to bed.
I wish we'd gotten more of the three of them. I thought, I was like, Gryffindor intervention. This is going to be fucking ridiculous. And it was. Anthony makes everything ridiculous. But yeah, it's a very passionate, very impulsive, very lost person who's trying to figure out who he is. And who, I'll give it to him. He has something dropped on his head that is like shocking, and he has to navigate that. And I can give him a little bit of grace and understanding of him being like pissed off at her initially. But the way he drags it out is really Gryffindor. Like it's really ridiculous. He doesn't have to hold on to it for as long as he does or as hard as he does. I don't think he does.
And then they have hate sex against the wall in an alley or whatever. But an extremely clearly, there is no other house that would have gone back to visit Marina in season 2. A Hufflepuff, obviously there is no place for them there. They would not have gone back. Yeah. That is over with. There's no place for them there. And he went there with the excuse to himself being, I just want to see how Marina's doing. He went there to be like, what could my life have been?
Right.
And Marina very clearly was like, this is not your life and you're full of, you need
wrong
to get
house,
over yourself.
wrong bitch, wrong everything, fuck off. She's like, get out of here. I also think it's really Gryffindor of him to, he couldn't come to the understanding himself that all Penelope needed from him was to love her. He couldn't figure that out on his own. He needed it spelled out for him. We really need a lot of verbal validation. We really need a lot of like written, spoken validation.
I also think it's crazy that he outright says like, I didn't think I deserved to be loved because it's not something that you see. I don't think he acts like that. No. And then he says it and you're like, oh shit.
He masks his feelings really well.
I see it once you said it. Yeah. Like, I get why you think that.
Because he hides shit really well where, like, you wouldn't know that he's ever, like, in pain or that he's, like, worried about something or...
But then he's like, I didn't think I deserved to be loved. And you're like, your family doesn't answer your letters and your brothers think that you're, like, this little kid.
Because we as the audience also forget him. Like, we also sideline him a little bit. Like, you're not the main guy here. Your wife is. Your brother is. Your, like, siblings are. Your mother is. Like, everyone else before him. And until he shines light on it, you don't really see it. It's really sad. It, like, really speaks to the truth of what's going on with him. But he's just not a bitter, angry, like, bitchy Gryffindor the way Anthony is. Or the way Simon is, frankly. He's different elsewhere on the scale. So that's why I think he doesn't immediately present that way. And I think you really need to dig into Colin to see it. So that's where we landed on Colin. And Hufflepuff Gryffindors make fantastic pairings. So I appreciate that. Like, I always love when we see them just because of Destiel. So I really love whenever I get another one. I'm like, oh, it's true love. Aww. And it is because I'm not really a Friends to Lover person either, like, at all. But I was excited about their season and I thought they were very sweet and I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the season overall. So to talk about, like, the other people... do you want to talk about Cressida? Yeah, not really.
She has to have something else happening for her, right?
I'm sure she does. Her hair will spell it out for us.
They put so much time into her for it to just be like, she's in Wales now. Bye.
No, she'll be back, and something will be important. As for the Featherington sisters,
have you heard the theory that people think that she is Sophie or who they're going to replace Sophie with? Yeah, people are fucking crazy.
That's not going to happen.
Anyway, Benedict would laugh.
Benedict would not. No.
He would not be able to do it.
I can't see that happening, guys. Come on. But for the Featherington sisters, so they're like funny. There's not a ton of depth there to go into. They're
played off like slapstick, right?
Yeah, and they're really matter of fact about everything that they think and feel. Right? Both of them say everything they think immediately.
I don't even remember their names.
Take things really personally.
You see a little bit more with the older one in the third season because she's obviously Philippa and...
I'll Google it.
But Philippa's the hot one, right? They're both pretty, but Philippa, the older one is obviously pretty jealous. Prudence is obviously pretty jealous that her mom is giving Penelope more attention.
Yeah.
Right? She's like, I'm having a baby. You didn't spend money on me. And she's obviously mean to get her mom's attention, which says a lot about
she's of the two, I think she's very much more selfish than Philippa. Like, much more like, look at me. Like, she's meaner about it. I don't know because they're so surface level. Like, I can't confidently put them,
to be honest,
anywhere. Like, it's... Yeah, I don't know. We can leave it up to the audience. Where do you guys think they go? Like, they're...
Hopefully we'll see more of them.
Oh, I hope so, because I really did, like... They were funny, you know? But I don't think there's much more depth. I don't know that we'll see more depth, because they are what they are. Now, as for Portia, I'll just get my thing out of the way. I think everyone probably would put her in Slytherin, but I don't. I actually have her in Gryffindor, which I don't think anyone's going to agree with me on, which is funny. But that's where I put her. I think she's, I don't think she's book smart. I think she's street smart. I think she has the Gryffindor con man attitude where like all of her manipulation is it's just about conning. It's not about anything else. It's to get shit done for her and her girls. Her girls are primarily like everything that she cares. Like they're really everything she cares about. That's it. That's all she cares about. She's self-aware, but not aware enough of the things going on around her to notice that her daughter is what she is, right? I personally think a Slytherin mother would have clocked that their daughter was Whistledown day one, if not week one. So things go over her head. But it's really the street smartness of it all, where like it's there's an intelligence there that is not from being like an educated person. It's from being a person who has lived, who's a realist, who's just like, I don't give a fuck about anything else except what's going on in my home and what I can control. And it's not in a like, this is my circle and I'll kill for them way. It's in a like, these are my girls and don't fucking touch my people. And I'm responsible for them. These are my responsibilities. So I will gut anyone who gets in the way. Like, fuck you, Uncle Jack. And even the fact that she like had a tear for Uncle Jack immediately made me throw Slytherin out the window. I was like, a Slytherin would not give a fuck. She actually felt bad. And then even like when she figures out what Penelope is, and Penelope's like, she's like, who did you have to like feel so bad about yourself for? Like, who made you feel that way? And Penelope just stares at her, and she's like, oh, fuck, that was me, right? Shit. Like everything is so I just think she's a Gryffindor woman. So that's my take on it. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah.
You agree with me? Cool.
Yeah.
I love not having to fight. Yay. Yay. I really think anyone would see her and immediately be like, oh, it's a Slytherin woman who's like manipulative.
No, I see that too, but I think you nailed it pretty well.
I think it's like how you could see Colin as a Hufflepuff first. Like I think it's fair to see Portia as a Slytherin first.
No, but I think you nailed it that it's like, how would you not know that your daughter's Lady
It's what Anthony said
I guess you could make the argument too, like you like would not care about them or whatever, but fucking Anthony, there's no way he would have known of anybody in his house. There's no way. Benedict could have been doing it and he wouldn't have fucking known. Clue. Are you kidding me? He does not give a shit about what's happening in that house unless it directly comes to his desk. And then he's like, God damn it, guys.
Yeah, because we don't want to look too closely at what you're doing. Like, that's your fucking deal. Like, do your thing. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's your business. Like, it's fine.
If it doesn't affect anything I'm doing, then
as
what the
long
fuck
as it's
do
not
I care?
fucking up my life or our lives or bringing danger, like, don't do it, right? Like, I'd warn you, you better not be Whistledown. But if you are, I'd have no way of proving it. Like, I wouldn't know.
And I'm not going to try.
No, I'm sorry. Because I was talking to George about it. He's like, oh, she's a Slytherin. I'm like, I don't think so. She's too emotional. And he's like, yeah, but she's really realistic and logical. I'm like, yes, Gryffindors can be logical. It's not just because you're not a logic house. You're just not thinking first with the logic. You're thinking first with the feeling. That's it. Like your initial motivation and feelings are really emotional. That's fine. You can still be a logical, rational person. I'm a very logical, rational person in many ways. And in many ways, I'm fucking not. It's what drives you specifically. And what drives Portia is her emotions about her kids. And all the shitty little things she does are for them.
When Colin confronts her because she was talking shit, and her response is like, "Oh, you weren't supposed to hear that." That's all she's got. She's like, "That wasn't for your ears."
They are Gryffindor and Gryffindor crime, and
then later she's talking to Violet, and she's like, "You have to understand, it was for Penelope's good. I wasn't trying to be mean. Like, this is the shit you should have said to Colin." And
so
we didn't even talk about Colin going to Cressida and telling her to not like.
Stop it. I was like, what are you fucking doing? Work. He's like, really don't bribe my wife. That's mean.
Further, that Penelope was like, no, I have a really good plan and we can do it. And Colin was like, no, I'll talk to her. And Penelope was like, okay. A Slytherin would not. I would have like tied him up in the closet. I would have been like, there's no way.
Oh my God. I'm gonna have a cough attack. That fucked me up. I can't think about that. It's gonna make me physically I'm physically reacting to it. I hate it.
Really
it made my skin itch.
As Cressida was like, "You're right. I am hurting people." He really sat there like, "Yeah, got through to her."
Oh my God, man.
She's like, "How about you give me $20,000?" And he was like, "What?"
No,
like,
here's the gender disparity, right? The Slytherin and the Gryffindor women have so much street smart about them, right? Like you can't say that every fucking Gryffindor woman could like hustle their way through everything. But then the men are really emotionally intelligent, but they're less so with the street smarts because Colin is very like and so is Anthony and so is Simon. Like they're like these spoiled little baby boys.
They don't have to maneuver society, right? It just
no, and he's very sweet thinking that he could appeal to her and be like, please don't. She's really nice. I think if you got to know my wife, you'd like her. Like you thought that
we
would
love
work,
each other.
babe.
Like, can you not fuck up our lives? And Cressida's like, I'm about to move to Wales with a bitchy old lady and no money. Like,
Cressida had
no
me
way.
like I jumped on houses for her over and over and over. Like I'm really still trying to figure her out. She's very interesting. I feel bad for her, and I don't at the same time. So
yeah,
she's a difficult character.
She is. I also don't understand what the issue is. She should have a husband by now.
It's weird that she doesn't.
Like the only thing is her nasty ass attitude. Yeah, which is something that you can control. So
yeah, but the fact that she can't hide it or mask it at all, that speaks to a certain house. But also the fact that like that she can be so cruel, it speaks to a different house. Like there's a lot at play.
Yeah, and then in private with Eloise, she's like,
Sweet.
I want real friends, and I want
what the fuck is that? Weird.
I know.
Weird. She's interesting. I'm hoping to see more of her.
So it's like I think her mom taught her that being me. Obviously, her mom did. Her mom says it that like not having friends and being nasty is how you get through life well. But that hasn't worked. It's been 3 years. Like I feel like at a certain point we should have like code switched here when this wasn't working.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope we'll get to explore her a little more because as of right now, I'm like, there's a question mark over her for me.
Yeah. If she had been going up to Scotland, I could see it because Francesca and Eloise are going to be up there. She's going to Wales.
So we're not going to discuss Francesca's house. We're not going to discuss.
No, they get their own seasons.
Right. Queen Charlotte will have her own. Francesca probably, if they're going to combine Francesca and Benedict's season, then probably have to combine.
They better not.
But they might, dude.
They won't.
You don't think so?
Won't. No, because Francesca's is so heavy.
Okay. Yeah, and they added all these new elements into it that are like going to make it heavy in different ways.
Yeah.
So that's going to be crazy. But yeah, the weird trend of Gryffindor leading men continues.
Actually, Benedict isn't heavy. Sophie's is heavy. So
that's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's so many Gryffindor men and all the women are so varied. There's so many different women, like all the houses are so different and all these men are fucking Gryffindors.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, these women have to like figure out their own way to get through society, and these men are just like, I am who I am.
Yeah, look at this. We've got like Slytherin Daphne, Gryffindor Kate, Hufflepuff Penn, and there's so much more coming and so many more house variants coming. Like it's wild.
It's that you'll get over the next decade, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so.
Since the next season's in 2 years.
We can't even do Stranger Things yet because that's taking forever.
2.5.
Like, it's insane.
Yeah, did you see where they're like every episode is a full feature-length movie and that's why it's going to take us another 80 years? They've ruined TV.
Yeah, they did.
They've ruined TV.
They did, and
put it on Stranger Things too.
And I'm still hoping that Eddie will come back, but every time I see Joseph Quinn do an interview, he's like, stop talking to me about fucking Eddie Munson. Don't talk to me about Eddie Munson. I'm going to kill myself. But he's just like playing the long game. Like Eddie's coming back.
Oh, it's like Andrew Garfield. I'm not the werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be delusional because Travis Kelce
like
was
that
delusional.
Article that said Taylor Swift is not going to be in Deadpool. It's a lie. She is.
We need to go to the Travis Kelce School of Manifestation and just make all of our dreams come true. Eddie Munson will come back. Taylor Swift will be the Dazzler. It's all going to happen, baby. Everything we want is coming. Believe in yourself. Oh my God. Well, anyways, that's a wrap on our latest dive into Bridgerton.
We're back now. We're so far currently we have planned that we'll be back on regular schedule, but Rachel is a baby, so give us some grace.
We'll do our best.
Who knows?
It should be mostly fine, but you know what?
The rest of this year we're being pretty easy on ourselves, so.
Yeah, but they're good. But they're good episodes. We have a lot of really shit
it's not
I wanted to cover for so long is coming. Yeah, so
it's just stuff that's going to be easier for.
It's
Rachel.
all easier for us because we're the experts. So
that's true. I mean, easier watching schedule.
Yeah.
We gotta wait till the baby's like.
We still have Taylor stuff coming up.
Binging TV.
We still have some Marvel stuff.
TTPD is next.
Yeah.
Which I hope you're all excited about. I know that album is
that
4
album
months
took
old,
me
but
so
there's no way that you never
long.
ever stop talking about
it. It took me so long to listen to in full.
Yeah, and Rachel and I have not talked about it. So you're going to hear our organic. We finally broke and told each other what houses we thought each
Yeah, but
song
mine
was
weren't
in,
well
but
thought
we
out.
weren't allowed to discuss it. And we weren't allowed to discuss it. We weren't allowed to say why. We weren't allowed to argue. We just said house and moved on to the next song. So you're going to hear all of that conversation firsthand.
That'll be interesting. But that's next time.
Yeah.
We'll catch you in the Tortured Poets department in 2 weeks.
Yes, and I also have to give a shout out because this time actually should technically be Hannah's birthday episode. So happy birthday,
Happy
Hannah.
birthday.
I'm sorry that Rachel's decision to bring new life into the world means that your birthday episode's
one
gonna be in
birth knocked
August.
another birth forward.
Pretty selfish of her.
Yes. My bad. Happy birthday.
Yeah, but Hannah's birthday will be in August, so
and
we'll be
she's
extra
21.
celebratory.
So wish her
Yep.
happy birthday.
Yeah, we'll do the social media posts.
Yay.
Yay. It's already passed by the time this comes out. Yeah, her birthday was July 6th. Happy birthday, Hannah.
It's not July 6th yet, though, as the time of
No,
the recording.
but when this comes out on July 16th.
Time is weird.
We live in July 6th.
All right, well, feel free to add us.
Yeah,
and
Rachel
complain.
was just like, did I forget the social media post? She did. She's good. She's got 3 more
Yeah, I
days.
was like, wait, hold on. All right. Thanks for listening. See you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at SOB_pod or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media. And if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
The theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!